Well, there's much debate in oil country about the Edmonton Oilers goaltending, but I don't think there needs to be much longer, friends. It's pretty clear as to what has transpired this season, and of course, I think too, in the same breath, we have to acknowledge the debate that is finally over in the Dolany TV comments section. For the first time all year in this new setup, you no longer see Jesse Puljujärvi's name bar and the number 13 on set, rocking and rolling. So there we go, friends. A big change on my end, and of course, a big change in philosophy coming from the Edmonton Oilers, almost guaranteed in net. This is Dolany TV. Good afternoon, good evening, good tomorrow if you're tuning in across the world, friends, as we get set to discuss this topic today. But before we get there, of course, the housekeeping notes. Sorry, had to take care of the other housekeeping notes earlier. But if you're new to the channel, what I want you to do is consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolany TV. We're up at 11,141 subscribers entering tonight's video. I'd love to have you join along, and I'd love to try and crush off 11,500 before we get up to Cold Lake at the end of the month. All right, that's fine and dandy. Styling aside, let's get to it. A man in net who, for the Oilers, has a lot of style, might I add, Mr. Stuart Skinner. This is a joke that I was talking about with Patrick of the Oilers Fanatic earlier tonight before recording this video. I'm like, man, you know what? He's got some things going for him. Stuart Skinner does. He's got the hair that an Edmonton Oilers goaltender needs to go deep in the playoffs with, right? You think about the last two times we've been past the second round. Goalie with the flow, you had Mike Smith with the flow, and Stuart Skinner's got some pretty luscious locks flowing out of the helmet too. So don't mind me right there. You've got yourself a winning goaltender just based on the hair that Stuart Skinner has, and oh my goodness, we all know about that nice little lip warmer that Mr. Stuart Skinner has. Oh my goodness, that is the epitome of a grade A mustache, my friends. So he's got the style you need to be an Oilers goaltender in the spring, leading your team deep in the playoffs. That much we know for sure. Does he have the rest of it? Well, here's the thing, friends. You want to talk about an Oilers goaltender that is ready to perform at his peak? Well, that would be Mr. Stuart Skinner right here, right now, this spring. Of course, everyone's like, well, the Oilers can't do it behind an untested rookie. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, Jordan Binnington was an untested rookie when he rode himself to the Stanley Cup final in 2019 with the St. Louis Blues. But Stuart Skinner, at age 24, drafted way back in round 3 of the 78th overall pick in the 2017 draft. Right, that's the Kailer Yamamoto draft. Can you believe we got Stuart Skinner and Kailer Yamamoto out of the same draft? Can you believe at this point of his career that Yamamoto was drafted before Stuart Skinner? That one seems a little baffling now, but before he hits his contract extension, Stuart Skinner has one more big chance ahead of him to show the Oilers what he has to do. Obviously coming out of the Southside Athletic Club way back when, playing in the WHL with the Lethbridge Hurricanes for 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons. 5 seasons, and then getting traded over to the Swift Current Broncos of the WHL, going 268 and a 914 save percentage that season with Swift Current. Goes into the playoffs, 26 games, 220 goals against average, and a 932 save percentage. Heads up to the Memorial Cup. Plays a total of a few games at the Memorial Cup by the looks of it, if I can find it here. 3 games, 4.01 goals against average, and 902 save percentage. I don't remember who won that year. If you do, you're better than me. But then he heads up in 18-19 to the Wichita Thunder and the Bakersfield Condors. And this is where it kind of looked concerning, right? Stuart Skinner averages 316 in 18-19, 903 save percentage with Wichita, 299 goals against average, and an 879 in Bakersfield that year in those 6 games. Oh boy, we got something special, but it's going to take a while. Then all of a sudden in 19-20, he's up with Bakersfield almost full time. 41 games played, 331 goals against average, and an 892 save percentage. Oh no, we have got trouble. Our star stud prospect is not going to pan out. Of course, that year Stuart Skinner was thrown into the fire a little bit too fast because Shane Sterrett was injured quite often that season. So right? Stuart Skinner goes down and up a little bit that year, and then suddenly has himself quite the year in Bakersfield in the bubble. 31 games played, 238 goals against average, and a 914 save percentage. Comes up, makes that sketchy start against the Ottawa Senators. 5.03 goals against average, 868 save percentage. Wins the game 8-5. That one was magical. We'll remember the score of that game for years to come. But then, right, everyone's, ooh, I don't know. The guy goes. Has this great stretch in Bakersfield, called up a couple times to sit on the bench in case Mike Smith got injured or Koskinen was injured, whatever the case was, in 21-22. Plays 35 games in Bakersfield, 221 goals against average, 920 save percentage, right? Beautiful. And then while the Edmonton Oilers, too, get him up for 13 games last year, and despite the record being 6-6-1, I will die on this hill that 6-6-1 record saved the Edmonton Oilers season last year. 262 goals against average and a 913 save percentage for Stuart Skinner, and a fantastic effort there to lead his team through that stretch. And then this season, the Edmonton Oilers star and stud goaltender, all-star, right? You can't deny that. He is a star, all-star, might become the term for Stuart Skinner. 2.86 goals against average, 913 save percentage for Stewie, and right, I think every time the Oilers have them in net, they look that much more confident. They look that much better. They look like a team that can really do some damage in the playoffs. So when somebody says to me, can the Oilers really ride an untested Stuart Skinner into the playoffs? I say, why the heck not? He's a beauty. He can do it. And I believe full-heartedly Stuart Skinner is the man to lead the Oilers back to the promised land, if the promised land is to happen this year. 18, 13, and 4 on the season, right? So he's building up that big win-loss disparity in that column. 286 goals against average and a 913 save percentage. As mentioned, he's 6'4" in net there for the Oilers. And you just look at it, the last 5 games, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2 goals against average. So nothing crazy. And obviously, too, everything's starting to bump up in that save percentage realm. Realistically, all 4 of the last games he started, 893, 929, 893, and 949 for Stuart Skinner. So you talk about that. He's starting to play some very meaningful, big minutes for the Oilers, and he's starting to make some meaningful, big saves. So we look forward to what Stuart Skinner has in store for us the rest of the way home. Because before we get to playoffs, before we talk about Stuart Skinner starting Game 1 for the Edmonton Oilers, the Mike Smith protege is going to have to get us into that division lead, conference lead, and the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, which we all know he and the Edmonton Oilers are fully capable of being going in to the NHL postseason. Friends, I'm Tyson. This is Stolany TV. I hope you are as jacked up, see what I did there, about Stuart Skinner as I am, because it is going to be a magical spring to watch a hometown boy in net lead the Oilers back to where we belong at the end of the season. Friends, I'm up on out of here. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night.